Hi, I'm Dr. Beth. I'm a clinical psychologist and I'm also a yoga instructor. This is another video in my series of short mindfulness-based meditation videos. And as a quick reminder, mindfulness is simply paying attention to the present moment with purpose, paying attention with purpose and without judgment or criticism, simply accepting what it is in the present moment. So this week, this is the third in the series of meditations videos I've been doing this week, and I've been using a book for inspiration by a fellow psychologist, Dr. Rick Hanson. It's this book, Just One Thing. For this last meditation of the week, I'm going to be using the chapter that's number 42, and it's Notice You're All Right Now. Starts on page 172. So I'm going to read a few selections from the chapter. We'll take a little bit of time to mindfully reflect on that, and then we'll wrap things up, hopefully within a 10-minute time frame. So this idea of notice that you're all right now. This is a real challenge during a time when so many things are not all right. We are all experiencing a world crisis, a global pandemic that's thrown the world for a loop. Much is not all right. And yet, Dr. Hanson makes the point that within that, in this moment, in this little slice of time that's the present moment, we're basically all right. There are times we can notice that we're basically all right. We're breathing, we have a heartbeat, we're moving about our day. Basically all right. So let me read a few things that he says about that. He said, to keep our ancestors alive, the brain evolved an ongoing internal trickle of unease. This little whisper of worry keeps you scanning your inner and outer worlds for signs of trouble. And we talked about this a little bit the other day when we talked about how our brains are wired for noticing the negative. We're really good at that, not as good at noticing the positive. So our brain is kind of keeping us on that high alert system for noticing problematic things. He goes on to say on the next page, take a close look at this moment right now. Probably you are basically all right. No one is attacking you. You're not drowning. No bombs are falling. There's no crisis. It's not perfect, but you are okay. And I would just add that there's no crisis doesn't mean there's no global crisis. It means in this second, there's nothing affecting you in a crisis way. You don't have to rush to the emergency room. As he said, you're not drowning in this moment. And then he goes on to say, by right now, I mean this moment. Look again at the thin slice of time that is the present. In this moment, are you basically okay? Is breathing okay? Is the heart beating? Is the mind working? The answers are almost certainly yes. So it's a little bit of a shift to what we mean by basically okay, right? Like, is my heart beating? Is my mind working? Am I breathing? Your attitude might be, well, yeah, but that's the idea of being basically okay. And so what he says when he recommends how to do that is underneath your desires and activity is an aliveness and awareness that is doing fine in this second. So he suggests that during the day, whatever you're doing, to repeat to yourself the idea, I'm all right now. If you're making dinner, I'm all right now. If you're talking to someone, I'm all right now. If you're reading emails, I'm all right now. And I actually did an online meditation with Dr. Hanson where he used the terms basically all right, and that might feel a little bit more acceptable or easy to use than I'm all right now. So whatever the exact terms, take a moment to call that to mind for yourself. The phrase that you want to use, it might be, I'm all right now, or I'm basically all right. And then allow yourself to be comfortable in your seat or lying or wherever you are. Tune into the feeling of your breath. You might like to lay a hand over your belly or your heart, or you could do one hand over belly, one hand over the heart. Turn your attention inside tune into that sense of I'm basically all right now. Feel that sense of whatever external crises are going on, whatever difficulties or problems you might be experiencing in your life, in the small slice of this present moment, you are basically all right. This is an acknowledging of those basic fundamental things. It's not an invalidation of the things that are less all right, the things that are not going so well in life. We can pick those out so easily. Like our See the Good exercise from a couple days ago. It's that gentle shifting of our attention to realize the ways in which you're basically all right. If, as you do this exercise, you find your mind wanders, which it will, that's a natural thing. And in particular, if your mind starts to shift to some of those things that are not so all right, maybe it is internal things, physical things in your body, like you have a headache or you're feeling exhausting today. Acknowledge that and then gently shift and see if you can search for, okay, that exists, but what is basically all right? It might be that your hands are functional and working and you're able to type. It might be that connection with the action of your breath. It might be that you're able to hear my voice and sit here for this short video. In what ways can you see and acknowledge that here in this slice of time, you're basically all right? Moving forward, what might be the most comforting way to remind yourself that there are times that you're basically all right? As we take about another minute to reflect on this, I'm going to read one more short passage from the end of the book, and this is where, or the end of the chapter, this is where Dr. Hanson talks about when things are not all right. He says, sometimes you're really not all right. Maybe something terrible has happened, or your body is very disturbed, or your mind is very upset. Do what you can at these times to ride out the storm. But as soon as possible, notice that the core of your being is okay, like the quiet place 50 feet underwater beneath a hurricane howling above the sea. Settling into this basic sense of okayness is a powerful way to build well-being and resources in your brain and being. You're taking a stand for the truth and against the lies murmured by Mother Nature or by our whole history of human race. So take another few moments to remind yourself that you're basically all right and that you have the strength, the ability, the resilience to see your basic all rightness even in the midst of difficult times, problems, and crises. Thank you so much for giving yourself the gift of this pause, this time to reflect and recognize. I hope you'll join me again. Take care, stay safe, be well.